Hello and welcome to another live session that is for economic and commercial laws. So yesterday all of you joined us for our company law live session. We also enjoyed it. So today we have Company Secretary Abhishek who will be helping us with the economic and commercial law live session. So it is very nice to see that already some people are joining us on the live session. So what we are going to do in this live session is very simple. First we are going to be having the important chapters. In fact, first there is Divya Khanna. Hello, important chapters for ECL and how to score 60 marks. So the Divya, that is exactly what we were planning to actually speak. Then we have Chittaranjan Reddy. Hi, good evening sir. Yes, good evening. Yes, so what we'll do is, yesterday also we told, we cannot say which chapter is not important. Every chapter is important, but what we are going to help you is, what Abhishek will be doing is, he will tell in every chapter which are the important topics. Of course, that doesn't mean others are not important, but when we have to compare, something should be as important, something is not lesser important. We cannot say not important, lesser important. So that will be the format. After that, after we discuss that, we will be taking your live questions. So already many are coming. So Harish Shekhar, how to revise FEMA before exam? Yes, we will discuss that. Then some people are saying good evening. Hello sir, yes, so thank you for the session, so thank you for joining. So let us start the session now. So we can go directly through the first chapter, foreign exchange management. So Abhishek, tell us, since you have taught ECL also full in detail, foreign exchange management is important chapter, but within that, what are the important topics?
So basically, like if you know this, the whole Foreign Exchange Management Act, collectively, like you have Foreign Exchange Management Act as well as Foreign Contribution Regulation Act. If I have to tell specifically in Foreign Exchange Management Act, what is important is core concepts. The core concepts in Foreign Exchange Management Act is current account transactions and capital account transactions. If you want, like in the description, you can see the link. We have made a video on current account transactions as well as capital account transactions and one basic video on introduction to FEMA. So if you give importance to current account transactions and capital account transactions, that could be really enough for you to attempt the provisions of FEMA. And if you have made a very simple notes of Foreign Exchange Management Act, definitely it will be easy for you to revise the provisions of FEMA.
Okay, so now you got to know. So one more thing, what we are telling now doesn't mean others you should not study. Because exam is close, what is more important, we are trying to make your life easy, that's all. So there somebody is asked how to study part 2, very vast, Karthik. So we'll come to that, you don't, in fact this whole ECL subject, I feel is little unfair for students. It's very vast.
Very vast, and basically like here you feel like the whole subject is so heavy. So how exactly the expectation of the institute and all. I have seen a lot of observations of the examiners as well as I have seen the comments from the students who have very recently cleared the exam. What is the expectation of the institute is your understanding, you have to write it in a very simple form. We are not expecting a very big legal language or something like that. If you write in general, day-to-day examples, that is what is most important to clear this ECL paper rather than being bookish.
Yes. So then there is Vijay Shekhar. So tell about IPR. Wait, we are coming there. We'll go chapter wise what is important. Definitely we will tell.
So Foreign Exchange Management Act, current account transactions and capital account transactions are very important.
Yeah. So that also, yes, revise that. Good. So foreign trade policy and procedures is the next chapter.
Yeah.
So this also students say it's a very big chapter.
Yeah.
So what is important? The topics.
See, topic wise, if I have to tell, foreign trade policy is the recent what is applicable in exams is 2015-20. So in foreign trade policy, definitely you should know what are the initiatives which are there or what are the important points under foreign trade policy. Like you have, merchandise program or service related programs. What are the privileges available for status holders, and there is a topic on import export code. So this much MEIS and SCIS scheme followed by the status holders and IEC. This much if you study in foreign trade policy, that could be sufficient. But you have another subchapter in foreign trade policy called special economic zones. In special economic zones, you should read both how to set up a special economic zone as well as how to develop a unit in special economic zone. And thirdly, one of the important question is like after you start your unit in special economic zone, what are the privileges that you are going to enjoy? So if you study so much, that could be sufficient in foreign trade policy in special economic zone.
Okay. So next is computation and consumer protection. Before I go to that, See, why we feel vast is, like for example, when we study LLB, almost some one chapter which you study in ECL is for 100 marks in the entire LLB.
Correct.
Or forget that, in our own CS Contract Act, in our foundation we have such a huge 20 marks, 25 marks. But here it is just one chapter.
Correct.
So those things is
so that is the
quite
reason
natural.
why the whole act is being given as one chapter here. That is the reason why you feel very heavy. Coming to this Competition Act, this Competition Act is associated with another important chapter, Consumer Protection Act. So in Competition Act, please note the core concepts under Competition Act is very, very important. Like you have anti-competitive agreements, abuse of dominant position, and regulation of combinations. In anti-competitive agreements and abuse of dominant position, please note case laws are very, very important. Just like that, you can't explain the concept. Along with case laws and examples, you have to explain the provisions relating to anti-competitive agreements and abuse of dominant position. But regulation of combination, there is one table which says that, basically what are the threshold limits for which, you have to go for Competition Commission of India's approval. That table is very, very important. That is the substantive provisions of law. Then there will be procedures like what is Competition Commission of India, who can appear before Competition Commission of India, all that will be secondary. But the core concept in Competition Act is these three, that is abuse of dominant position, anti-competitive agreements, and regulation of combinations. And coming to Consumer Protection Act, in Consumer Protection Act, what is most important is the definitions. The definition of consumer. Please note the definition of consumer followed by if there is any defect in goods or deficiency in service, then only you can approach the right forum. So that district forum, state commission and national commission jurisdiction, followed by the definition of consumer and defect in goods and deficiency in service, and lot of practical examples and case laws you have to discuss for you to be thorough with the Consumer Protection Act. So this chapter, case laws and examples are very, very important, and practical questions you can expect in this particular chapter.
Yes, and I was just reading the comment. So one student is asked, can we use two color, Romita, can we use two color ink, blue and black? Yes, definitely you can use.
Yes.
You can't use red and green because they are going to correct
in red and green.
So you can use. Then one more person is asking, there was one question which I wanted to just say. Yeah, sections. So according to me, in ECL, sections are not very important. In company law, it is very important. Yesterday we discussed that in our live session. But in our ECL, sections are not very important.
Not very important.
But what you can do, which I can suggest, is try to remember at least minimum one section, which is the most important section from every act or every chapter, or two. So it is not difficult to remember one or two sections from every chapter. So total book you have to remember only some 30-35 sections.
Correct.
That you can do, and that you can quote in the exam. Some general sections like the enabling section or things like that. That you can do, but ECL generally don't worry about sections.
I can see Siddhant writing is FCRA important. Please note, every chapter is important in foreign exchange, not necessarily Foreign Exchange Management Act. All 15 chapters are important, but every topic is not important.
Exactly, and that is the purpose of this whole live session we are doing. You please don't take a chance of leaving one or two chapters. I will give you an example practically which we have also faced. What happens is there will be a main question. Main question is for 16 marks or 20 marks, and sub questions will be 4 marks each. Each sub question is from a different chapter, correct? So what I will do, I have left one chapter, and in the 4 sub questions, I know 3. The 4th one I can't even attempt anything because I have never touched that subject. So you can select topics, but you cannot select chapters. Correct.
So each topic is not important. That is what the important topics, like we are trying to name few.
Yes.
So based on that, for certain topics you can leave, but you can't leave the chapter on a whole. That is what is our sincere advice.
Next is intellectual property right. So this one, even you have LLM, you can do an intellectual property right for 1 year or 2 years, which is just one chapter in our ECL. So what are the important topics in IPR?
So IPR, basically there are 5 kinds of IPR which is there in your syllabus. So patents, trademarks, copyrights, designs and geographical indications. Please note under each chapter for what type of activities patents will be given, for what type of activities trademark will be given. So that basic concept, I want to call it substantive provisions of law. For what we will call patent, for what we will call trademark, that basic understanding you should have. So that concept you have to read. That is substantive provisions of law. Secondly, the procedures. Procedures is how to apply for patent, how to apply for trademark. Please note, it is all one and the same. If you read the procedure in patent, you need not read it in trademark, you need not read it in copyright. So that is how you can limit yourself, like by doing some smart study. Procedure, read it in one place so that you need not repeat it in all the chapter. But substantive provisions of law, I mean for what patents will be given, for what trademarks will be given, for what designs will be given, that you have to read it independently. Remaining you need not read. If you study the procedures in patent, that could be one and the same for all other intellectual properties, so that you can simplify and then you can spend very less time when compared to the procedures.
Yes. So here there's one Divya Khanna, she's telling I'm deviating about module 2. Yes, we have a live session tomorrow by Vishwas sir, that is about company accounts and auditing. So Divya, you don't have to worry, though you're writing module 2 this time, tomorrow you can join us. So next thing is some more people about part B, we will come to that, don't worry. The next chapter is arbitration and conciliation. So arbitration, they say, is like going to increase in future, and even company secretaries can represent the clients in arbitration. That is why they have added this chapter. But since it's a big act, what are the important topics?
Again, here you should start with the definitions only, because some of the important definitions based questions are being asked in arbitration. So what is arbitration? What is arbitral award? What should be the content of the arbitral award? How exactly the arbitration process takes place? Step by step procedure you have to write it. Please note, in arbitration and conciliation you will not find much of the substantive provisions of law. Procedures are very big in arbitration and conciliation. Step by step procedure you have to note it down, followed by some of the important definitions like arbitrator, arbitration, what is the place of arbitration, what is the content of the arbitral award, how many number of arbitrators should be there, what is conciliation, what is the role of arbitrator, what is the role of conciliator. These are some of the frequently asked questions. You can refer to previous question papers, you can stick on to basically like the frequently asked questions in Arbitration and Conciliation Act.
Okay. So that is so procedures. So what I can understand is procedures you should concentrate. Next is again what LLB students study for 100 marks, Transfer of Property Act. So what are the most important topics? Because I have seen some question papers, they ask only 3 to 4 marks, and even question is also not asked from this chapter.
Correct.
So what are the important topics? Suppose I have not studied till today. What can I concentrate on topics?
So there are doctrines in Transfer of Property Act. So yes, when you look at the whole Transfer of Property Act is divided into two parts. One is what are the general rules relating to transfer and what are the specific rules relating to transfer. Forget about specific rules. Coming to general rules, there are some doctrines. That is doctrine of feeding of grant by Estoppel, doctrine of lis pendens. Like there are some 5 to 6 doctrines. Please give importance to that. For a short notes, you can expect it for 4 marks.
Yes.
In Transfer of Property Act.
So Sauparna, FEMA is big chapter, how to study. You go after we finish the live session, you go back to the beginning of the video. We have already told that, so you don't have to worry. Then there's one question. Devarajan actually is also our online student. You have bought our course, so he's asking how to write the answer in ECL. So if I can tell you again, it comes back to the same core thing. How is your preparation? First is your knowledge of law. Your knowledge of law should be good. Then comes presentation. Don't think of presentation first. So in anything, what are they trying to test you? They are trying to test you. Can you remember the provision? That is only about the number. But then can you analyze what is the provision? What is the substantive law? So when you can analyze that, how you should write is what is the provision? What is the meaning of the provision? Your analysis, if procedure is there like in arbitration, the stepwise, you can write the answer. Step 1, step 2, step 3, like that you can answer. And wherever possible, not in every answer, you can use charts. So you can just use charts, 1 or 2, not in every answer. That will be helpful. So and generally don't worry too much about the presentation. If you are prepared well, you can write well and write in points instead of writing in paragraphs. In fact, just before this live session, I was talking to one student who wrote the mock exam. So I was telling her, write in points in ECL, because if you are just writing in paragraphs, it looks very big and the person who is correcting will not have the patience. So the next one is stamps, I guess. Yes. Law relating to stamps. It's not a very big chapter, but can you tell one or two important topics?
Actually, like if you look at the Stamp Act, if you see it in the material, it looks very big.
Yes.
Please note Transfer of Property Act, Stamp Act and the Registration Act in Module 2. That is in the part 2, which is there. You have to read it together. Stamp Act specifically like the basics relating to what is the difference between adhesive stamping and impressed stamping, what is the time limit within which we have to pay the stamp duty, and like if the stamp or if the document is executed outside India, within how many days it has to be stamped in India. Like this, a part of combination of some definitions and combination of some procedure, you have to read it. One important thing, like on what stamp duty has to be paid. Every instrument, the stamp duty has to be paid. Please go through the definition of instrument. It is very, very important in Stamp Act.
Okay. So there's a very specific question. If you want to take it, what is grant by estoppel? Like briefly, if you want to tell in like one sentence.
Estoppel is something like, if some person has accepted to do something, he can't deny in future. So that is what the principle of estoppel means. Estoppel is, it denies a person from doing an act which he has already accepted to do it. So that is what is estoppel. It is a very big concept. We can't
yeah,
take it
but that is very well put. To put it in a crude way, I asked this to one of my teacher. He put it in a very crude way. He told exactly what Abhishek told. Then still I was like, I'm not understanding, sir. Then he told, what is vomited cannot be taken back.
Correct.
So that is what he told.
Estoppel is.
So it is something like that in a simple way. So next is contract. So this contract is sometimes very huge. They've given one chapter, an entire contract.
And sometimes they're asking only for 4 marks.
4 marks. So you'll feel, let me leave it. But don't leave it. Abhishek will tell you the important topics.
So what I have seen is, in foundation they are asking from part 1, that is general provisions relating to transfer. Like, who are competent to contract, all that. But here coming to in executive program, they are giving importance to this specific types of contract, in the sense like bailment, pledge, contract of guarantee, indemnity. Please give importance to that part rather than giving to the first part, because what I have seen through my analysis of the previous papers, the first part is being asked in foundation more, and the second part they are giving importance to in executive.
Okay.
So special contracts, that is what they have to give importance, like bailment, agency.
Very good. So then there was actually one question where they were asking relating to, so which are the chapters where we have to concentrate on case laws instead of just the section? Is there any like few chapters you can tell the name of the chapter where case law we should concentrate?
They should concentrate of case laws, Competition Act, Consumer Protection Act, Transfer of Property Act. In Transfer of Property Act, case laws as well as examples plays a very important role.
Okay.
So for Transfer of Property Act, Competition Act and Consumer Protection Act, it is fully based on case laws. You have to give importance to case laws and read it thoroughly.
Okay, good. So then we come to the last chapter in part A, money laundering. So I can remember from money laundering, placement, layering, integration.
That is the core concept of
money laundering.
Yes.
But yes, the chapter is not very big, but can you tell again important topics?
See, basically let me tell you important topic or some frequently asked question kind of a thing. First, what is the process of money laundering? Alok has already told that placement, layering and integration concept you have to remember. Next important thing is money laundering is not encouraged. Money laundering is discouraged worldwide. So what are the actions taken globally to prevent the money laundering? Like you have FATF, Financial Actions Task Force, all that. What are the initiatives taken in India to prevent the money laundering? And what are the specific role that the banks and financial institutions has to play to prevent the money laundering, like KYC, know your customer guidelines, all that is very important. And the last question will be, if you are stuck with a money laundering related offense, what is the punishment that you have to undergo? So the penal provisions are also important in money laundering.
Okay, so that is good. So that comes to the end of part A. And just a reminder, this video will be there on the channel. Even after the live session, you can refer it anytime. So in part B, we have the law relating to essential commodities, weights and measures. I think the legal metrology act,
and basically like the standards of weights and measures has become legal metrology and essential commodities act.
Yes.
So
what are important?
In legal metrology, first is you have the Essential Commodities Act. The definition of essential commodities plays a very important role here. You have to go through the definition of essential commodity, and the second and the only requirement in Essential Commodities Act is what are the steps taken by government to ensure that essential commodities are made available at a reasonably affordable price to all the creeds and the whole population of the country. That is the basic objective. So bullet points, you remember, main headings is sufficient when it comes to what are the roles played by the government. Other than that, you have to read it in detail, what is essential commodities. And And you know one important topic there, what is the difference between seizure and confiscation? That is a very repeatedly
both
asked
looks
question.
similar.
Yes,
When
both
you
look
read
similar.
the English meaning looks similar.
Yes, there is a case law also that you have to remember over there. Difference between seizure and confiscation is a very frequently asked question in Essential Commodities Act. And legal metrology also, they are asking some of the important, like packaged commodity related, and what is the specific role which is being paid by government to ensure that everywhere, you know, basic roles and objectives of the act you have to remember in general.
Yeah.
Other than that, nothing else is important there.
Okay. So there's some questions. Sir, will you do this session for professional? So let us know which is the most important the subject which you require for professional. So we can definitely consider doing this for professional also. Live session can be done for professional also.
Yes.
So now coming to our this one, trusts and societies. So some students ask, why do we have this chapter in the book? But it is there, we have to study. So let us try to understand important
topics.
topics.
So to connect with yesterday's topic, like Companies Act, you have something called CSR over there.
Exactly.
So that corporate social responsibility has to be implemented through trust or society. That is the reason why, you know, it has been included in our syllabus. So how to form a trust and how to form a society. So here both procedures, both are procedural law. To form a trust, what are the important points would be, right? Formation of the trust. What are the steps to be followed? Formation of the society, what are the steps to be followed? That is most important in both trust as well as society.
Yes.
Whole procedure for formation, working and management of trust as well as society. Those procedures they have to be well versed with.
Okay, good. So there something exactly what is in my mind, Devanshu is telling, Good Lord Institute has not left any act, any law. That is correct. In fact, you please be happy, in the new syllabus I just saw this
They have added jurisprudence and all.
And not only that, but this subject ECL, they have renamed it Economic Business Laws or something. There are more acts, more than what is there now. So you please be happy. You don't have to worry. So next we come to the pollution control and environmental protection. So can you tell, because some questions also came in the live.
One environment related
question. So what are the important topics?
See, please see, this also you look it very vast, but it is exactly not like that. You have totally 5 chapters if I remember it rightly.
Air Act, Water Act.
Yes. The first one you have Environmental Protection Act and Introduction related. Please note in Environmental Protection Act, the laboratory related. Environmental laboratories, the specific question you will get it on that. After that, what is the liability for pollution? That is very, very important. Like at the introduction chapter itself, they are specifically asking you what is sustainable development. You have to understand that because they are asking for short notes. Sustainable development, carbon credits, and environmental laboratories and liability for pollution. There are case laws, absolute liability, strict liability, MC Mehta versus Union of India. These are important things. Next, Public Liability Insurance Act, you have to understand for which type of companies Public Liability Insurance Act will apply.
Yes.
National Green Tribunal, which type of cases can be taken before National Green Tribunal. Air prevention related laws and water prevention related laws. Please note, Pollution Control Board is a common thing for under both air pollution as well as water pollution. Read the powers and functions of Pollution Control Board under Air Pollution Act. It is useful for both air pollution as well as water pollution related topic. And noise pollution related question is also a frequently asked question. Have a look at that.
Okay. Actually, our Jai Prakash is reminding us IDRA. We have just missed it.
That is the next, I think.
Very huge thing.
Very huge, but every topic is not important. Again, that is what I am trying to tell you again and again, that you have to read all chapters.
Yes,
but every topic is not important.
Because there somebody else, Vignesh Kumar. What are the more important chapter? Everything is important. Vignesh, you can't leave any chapter. That is why we are making this live in every chapter which is important topic. Okay, so please concentrate on that.
In IDRA, coming to that, IDRA, the whole chapter is like depending on the classification of the industries. If you are a large scale industry, then IDRA. If you are a micro, small and medium enterprises, then you have another act, Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises Act. Try to read the classification And under large scale industries, what are the types of licenses they are going to give, the licenses requirements. And thirdly, section 18 and 18AA is very, very important. The difference between acquisition by the government by giving notice, acquisition by the government without conducting, basically investigation. So section 18 and 18AA is very, very important in industries development.
And there are many questions in 18AA which I was seeing in the scanner.
Yes.
So please concentrate on that.
So 18 and 18AA is very frequently asked question.
Almost every attempt they are asking some question
relating to that.
Yes.
And MSME, the whole act is important. It's very small, 2 or 3 pages, read the whole thing.
So I think we have covered registration of documents. Is there anything we have
registration to only 2 sections, section 17 and 18.
Yes.
What are the documents where registration is mandatory and what are the documents where registration is optional? If you read these 2 sections, it is more than enough for Registration Act.
So I think we have covered all the chapters. So we'll take the questions which are coming live, but before that, Saranya Selvi, can I leave any chapter in part A because I studied part B? No,
not at all.
Please don't do that. He has told now which are the important topics, study that at least. Now you don't have to worry too much about what is the things which I have to leave. And Vignesh again, sir, in company law you told important chapter. Company law I told important means they are asking more marks. I am not saying don't study what is not important. Exactly, that is what we told yesterday. So like company law I cannot tell here, or Abhishek cannot tell in ECL, because in company law for all purposes you are studying only one act, Companies Act 2013. Of course LLP is just one small chapter, it is less than 5%. But in ECL every chapter is one separate act. So you cannot afford to leave. Again I am telling you, one main question is 20 marks, 16 marks. In that sub question is from different chapter. 4 sub question means from 4 different chapter. What if you leave 2 chapters, in that those 2 chapters question only is in the sub question. You know 2 very well, you don't know 2 anything. So out of 16 you can attempt only 8. Even if you get full marks, you are getting 8 out of 16. Correct. But if you know all the chapters, please try to know something about every chapter. If not everything about every chapter, something about every chapter, you will be able to write. Even for 4 marks question, you will get at least 1 or 1.5.
And please note, if you write it in general also, you will get marks. It is not like you are not going to get marks at all. But if you write it in general, it should have some weightage. What is that weightage? Quoting some provisions, not section numbers, quoting the right provisions of law, or giving examples which is relevant to the act. What you have to ensure is the examiner should understand that you have read the subject and you have the basic understanding of law.
Yes.
If you are able to do that, if you are writing it in general also, you will be able to clear this paper in 1 attempt.
Okay. So there are many more people joining us. The Devarajan, how to write MCQ paper. We are going to make one more session on that. This session we will not handle that. What is important in FEMA, we already told. You can go back to the beginning of the video. You can see that.
And there is a video on FEMA which is there in the description
exactly
box.
So go to the description box. Abhishek has done 3 videos. You watch that. That will give you a quick start to study the FEMA chapter. Then we have Sunaina. Please let us know what when except company law and corporate restructuring live session, they will be very helpful for professional. Okay, we will consider that definitely. Harish Shanbok, please make video on CMSL. CMSL also we'll see. So to be frank, even I am not so comfortable with that subject, but we will try to make that. What are the important chapter in part A? We already, there's no again. So Saranya Selvi is not leaving us. She is asking important chapter. Every chapter is important. Again we are telling every topic is not important. So you watch that video again, you will know what is it. Then we have please make video on CMA and tax. We will do that also. I am writing both module together, studying scanner of Suchitra Prakashan. Is it enough? No.
No.
Definitely not.
Not.
Tell me one thing, wherever you are living, why did ICSI send the study material all the way from Delhi, from wherever your house is, whichever city, town or village? Are they mad? They want you to study this. And remember, questions are set from the syllabus. Based on syllabus, study material is prepared. So you cannot study only.
You can use the scanner for revision and not for studies.
Definitely not, and it is not. And law is a subject you will understand only when you know it in depth. On the surface, if you study something, you will not understand. So that will not be good enough. So when will be the tax live? We will let you know. The notification will be there. I meant you will guidance for old syllabus. Yes, for old syllabus we will be giving the guidance.
And one question to pick up, are there any amendments in ECL? For this attempt you will not find any much of the amendments, because even in Foreign Exchange Management Act and Foreign Trade Policy, everything is like in 6 months down the line, no big amendments has taken place.
Yeah. Srihari Chinnaraj, can I study based on weightage of the marks of each subject? See, in scanner, weightage is to just give you a pattern which generally which chapter they are asking more. In scanner only you see some attempt, it will be like June 2016, one chapter you will get 10 marks. Then the next attempt it will be 2 marks. So that is just an indicator for you that which chapters usually they'll ask more marks. But based on that weightage you don't study. But what I can tell you, based on the weightage, if you want to make that as the order of your study, which is most important you study all that, which is lesser marks you study later, but don't leave any chapter.
So that by that way what they will get to know is to choose important topics.
Exactly, that is what you can do. So provide important case law in ECL. So I think there are not many case laws in
case
ECL.
laws like I can't name specifically.
Yes.
But in Consumer Protection Act, Competition Act and Transfer of Property Act,
These
read all
chapters.
the cases.
In the book there are not too many
case laws. Please read all the cases.
Yes. So give some tips for writing exam, because it happens that our preparation is quite good, but when we talk about marks then this will disappoint us. So your preparation, I think we have already made many videos on that. You please go. And one more thing, many people are giving comments after the live session. Yesterday I was saying, where is the video? It is there in YouTube. Go to our page. Please click on the page Ekcel Academy. There you have different tabs. So you have first is home, then you have videos, then you have playlist. So you click on that. Now when you click on that and browse, we don't have 1000 videos. If you just browse little, you can definitely get these videos. So how to write answer, we have told in company law. It is similar in ECL. You don't have to worry. So you can see the solved paper, company law solved paper. Similar approach you can apply to ECL also. Yes, so how to remember all concept, I think we can't take that. Good evening sir. How to revise ECL in 1 day before exam? Rainy Jane. 1 day before exam, see this 1 day before exam, no magic will happen. What you should do is, you should have studied already now.
No,
2 months, 3 months, 6 months.
How to revise. So like since she has specifically mentioned how to revise, we presume that one reading is already
Yeah, let
over.
us assume you have studied once.
Yeah.
So for revision, if your notes is there, it is
yes.
going to help, first thing. Second thing, if notes is not there, in whichever book you're studying, study material or any textbook like that, you make the important points there. So that is what will help you to revise. And again start revising, which I will suggest, with chapters which you feel are the most difficult for you. That way you will finish the difficult part when the next morning of the exam. That time you will not be tensed. All the smaller chapters or easier chapters you can revise quickly. So do the difficult part first, not the easy part. Some students, what they will do, okay, all easy small chapters, let me revise. It will become night, time to sleep. Next day morning you get up, all the big bulky chapters are there. FEMA is there, IRDA is there. Then you start getting panic. So don't do that. Yes, so can you make lecture on costing? We have some videos on costing, you can watch that. Revision lecture, we don't have that as of now. Shruti here, help us in managing time and structuring answers in ECL. So yesterday also I told, today also you can adopt the same thing. Have a thumb rule. If you have 6 questions, maximum is 30 minutes for every question. And in every question you have sub questions. Sub questions is like 4 questions. So whatever way you see, company law or ECL, one question you can give only 8 to 10 minutes. More than that you don't have time. 180 minutes, 100 marks. 100 marks is equal to how many questions? If you see 15 to 20 questions you are answering.
Correct.
So when you see the average, of course for 7 marks question, 8 marks question, 12 to 15 minutes you may give. But you just stop there, go to the next answer. Otherwise you cannot complete. It is better to write something for 100 marks than write everything for 60 marks.
If you write it only for 60, chances of clearing is very less. So try
Maximum
to
you'll
complete
get
the
40.
paper. Maximum what they will get is 40. But to get aggregate, you all know it is 50.
Suppose you write for 60 very well, you get 40 or 45. For 40 you write okay. Still for 40, even if you get 15 marks, that is 45 plus 15 is 60. So that is why yesterday also we told, today also we are telling, writing 100 marks is very, 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 very elementary and basic. Yes. How many pages should be written for 8 marks? Same thing yesterday we addressed. So I think we don't have to repeat it.
Yes, please visit
yesterday's video. Pages is not important basically. Don't worry about number of pages.
Content.
Quality.
Content is most important. Content or quality.
Sir, make the video how to solve the ECL paper already you make for company law. Yeah, we'll consider that. Now there's little time, but good suggestion. We'll definitely consider that by Devarajan. Very active. Devarajan is giving lot of questions. So yes. Nice to see that.
Yes.
So yes, I think we are not getting further chats. So I think this session was very useful for you, and we have also covered quite some time. So we have told you what are the important topics in every chapter of ECL. Apart from that, we have Ekcel Academy channel. We have hundreds of videos. Please go, first of all, watch the videos in the link of this video. That is FEMA related videos which Abhishek has done. Then how to answer, how to face when you're not feeling confident, all those you can do. And one more thing, please don't worry, 1 week is also there. Give your 100%. Yesterday also I told, today also I'm telling, give your 100%. You never know, you can really get good results. So I think that is pretty much it. We are going to be closing this session right now. And like I told, for company law or company accounts, if you want specific chapters which you want to buy, you can contact our office 7406077406. That will help you. And the next thing is tomorrow we have module 2, CS Executive module 2. Vishwas will be joining us for the live session on the company accounts and auditing practices. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Right.